Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Stay True TV. So today we're going to try and get a bit more done on the ATV basket case. But first of all, we've got some things come through the post to open up. So let's get into that. We got the bonnet cover. That's looking good. Should be able to clean that up pretty nicely. We got the new stator. So that's sweet. We should be able to hopefully get some spark once the motor's back together. New rings for the piston. Should be sweet. New rear drive boot. Well, not new, second hand, but looks in good condition, so we should be laughing. So we've also gone ahead and got all stainless hardware for the front A-arms and the rear swing arm connection bolts. So there, we got the seal that we ordered in the other day for the hub, for the knuckle. That's come in. And we've got the seal for the motor, one of the seals for the motor. So we're still waiting on 3 seals to come back, but we'll be able to move on with what we've got. So let's keep on ticking. Alright, so first things first, we're going to replace the seal back in here. We just do what we can do in here, what we can. Just going to try and get a bit of a clean up in there. Sealing. Alright, next one we'll do is the knuckle, same deal. Another seal done. Beautiful. So the next thing we're going to do is go and get the housings. There's a cover for this section here and a big housing for in here. We're going to go get them, clean them all up, give them a wash so they've not got any sand from sandblasting and all the rest of that rubbish. Give them a wash and then we're going to come back and see if we can fit this section up minus the seal. Alright, so I've just gone and chucked a bit of gasket liquid around here because we haven't got any gasket for this in the kit. It doesn't come with it. It's got the gasket for the outside ring but not the inner. So we might just chuck some oil in it to help it go in. You just might have to just wriggle it around a bit just to get it seat on there, and once she pulls together, and there she goes. Alright, then we'll grab a screwdriver and chuck a bit of Loctite on the screws. Like so. Chuck them on in, screw them on up. Alright, next we're going to do is going to go get the clutch system that goes into here. We're going to give it a clean up and we'll be back soon. Alright, next thing we're going to do is assemble the clutch assembly. Do is all up this bearing assembly here. That up like that. Knob onto that. That's going to go onto like so. Funny wheel. That then locates within that one. Like so. Next thing we need to do is take care of this one over here. We've got bearings go in, so like the same deal again. Anything you've cleaned, give it some oil before it goes in. Give it a bit of a spin. This one shouldn't be too hard of a fit, came out pretty easy, so slides in and then there's a circlet to go in. Just always make sure when you're doing bearings that you don't knock the inside race, you always go for the outside race. Beautiful. Now we just want some circlet pliers. These ones are cool. Cool. So the only thing we've got left here is once we get this seal, that's going to go on. So now I'm going to go slide this over the top of the drum, so. We have a second circlet that goes inside just over the lip. Hold that assembly together. So, oil off. That there is our assembly, ready to rock and roll. So we'll easily get that seal in behind that when it arrives. That's not a drama, let you try and get a bit better light on it. That's your assembly right there. Alright, next thing we're going to do, go and clean these bolts up so they're ready to go in. So go on and buff them all up, make them look a bit nicer. So go and put this cover on, get it bolted up. Alright, so all I've done is I've gone and located all the bolts, dowels, so this gasket's kind of located in its place. Then we're going to go ahead and try and get this thing smack bang on and screwed up. Right, next thing on the agenda is our cover. So we cleaned all that up a while ago. So we've got all the bolts all cleaned up, ready to go. It's a matter of sticking them on and screwing it together. Sweet as. Looking good. Alrighty, next thing we're going to go for is this pipe that goes between here and here. We're going to get that on there. That'll be one other job down. So we've got the banjo bolt, which is all cleaned up here. And on them you've got these brass washers. Alright, that's screwed in there. Starting to look good and come together. Alright, seems as we can't go any further with the clutch side due to not having the correct seals with us. We're going to start with this side here, get get all the gear linkage and stuff back into this section here, get that locked up. So go wash up the housing, wash all the grease off the linkages, we'll grab some new grease, chuck that in there, get it back together, lock it on up. Let's do it. Alright, first thing we're going to do, I'm going to rub a bit of grease on the back of the selector. Now, on the front of the selector, I don't know if you can see it, just there. There it is, one dot. So we put that one up in here. It's one dot. On the second selector, right here, just between that one and that one, there are two dots. So what we want to do is locate that one dot between the two dots. Now she's in there. Alright, and then that one has a nice long bolt to go through it. The long one of the two goes in. Put that in place. Alright, so you can see your dots there. You got one on the top one, two on the bottom, and it's one between the two. So that says we're in the right gear synchronization there. Next thing we're going to do is lay a heap of grease through there. Gaskets on. Chuck a bit of Loctite on the bolts as we put it all back together. We'll start with this one. Go over the shaft. Nice snug fit. There she goes. So I've gone and jimmy rigged a couple of jumper leads up for this starter motor. All I've got is, I've got one going to the positive, one going to the negative. The negative one is running over and it's just wrapped around the base of the starter motor where it would be earth. Then we've got the positive one here, and all you need to do is where it would be getting power through to the starter motor to kick it over is this here bolt here. So just touch that on there, and as you can see, we got power, so that starter motor's fine. Easy as that. So I'm going to paint the whole starter motor black, just so it looks good. It's working, it's doing what we want it to do. It's just going to look a bit nicer than what it does now. So we're going to mask up the drive, mask up the seal, and we'll get this thing hung up and painted. Alright, so we've masked that up. Now let's get some wax and grease remover over it, clean her all up, hang her up, chuck a bit of paint on it. Alright, she's all painted. Just gonna let her dry. That'll be sweet. On the top of the motor, there was a bolt. This bolt here looks a bit feral. So what I'm doing is I've just chucked it up in the lathe. I'm going to take a face and see if we can clean it up a little bit, make it look a bit nicer. Let's see how we go. Much better. Alright, there's our bolt. Looked like rust, now it looks like a bolt head. Alright, while we're waiting for the starter motor to dry up, we'll go and get the cam chain guide, connector on, have that ready, and put the cam chain in there, have that ready. Then we're probably just about ready to start looking at working on getting the top end all cleaned up and ready to roll. Alright, we've got our brand new chain by Pro X going in. And that we can just dangle over the top there. Sit on our sprocket, like so. You can just hang. Then we'll get our cam chain follower. Put that in there. And as you can see here, the reason we had to put our chain on first is like a tab there, which actually holds your chain from coming off down the bottom there. That'll put a bit of Loctite on the bolts. Alright, so we've got our chain, we've got our cam chain guide in place. Next thing we're going to do here, so we're going to get the gear for here, give it a wash up, give it a bit of a clean, and we'll locate that one next. Alright, so first things first, this has got a slot in it. So what we're going to do is put the key in first. This is the key, it just locates in the slot on the shaft, like so. Now it's not really needed, but I like to do it. Just chuck a bit of oil on the shaft there, the location of the gear. Locate the slot in the gear with the slot on the shaft, like so. Boom. There she goes. And you got this one here. It's got a little tab on the inside that goes in your keyway. These two here, one of them will wrap around your nut once the nut is located. Alright, get a socket and tighten her up. So I'll just hold the crank down with a rattle gun. Now you look for the tab that's closest to locating the flat, which for us would be this one here. We want to try and knock that tab up a bit. Like so. Once you get it up so far, you should be able to grab it with a set of multi-grips or something. Just bend it the rest of the way. Like so. You can see that there, it's bent up onto the flat, stops that from being able to undo itself. Next shaft to go in, put this shaft here, just chuck a bit of oil on the shaft. This one here in, that'll connect your starter motor to your drive. So the next thing I did here, when I was pulling it apart and I couldn't work out how to get the flywheel off, not realising it just came off like your normal one, just needed a different kind of pull. I separated the bolts from the inside of this one. So we've got all the bolts sitting in here, so we're going to sit it back over the bearing, relocate it and put that back in one piece. Alright, so we're going to go and chuck a bit of oil on this bearing in here, chuck a bit of oil on the plate here, and then chuck it back together. Alright, so then the bolts. Alright, we're going to put this on, but we're not going to tighten it up for now. Alright, we're going to put a bit of oil on here, and we chuck the drive gear on, starter gear. That locates up here with the starter motor gear. Then we go and put that key back in. Then we'll go and put the key in. It locates like so. I'll just give it a bit of a tap in. And I'll just follow a bit of the angle of the shaft so it makes it easier for the flywheel to locate. Then you just locate where the keyway is on the flywheel to the shaft. Roughly get it close and you should be able to. All gone well. Yep, there she goes. That's just slipped in place there nicely. Alright, sweet. Alright guys, the last job for this video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and chuck this starter motor back into the bike. Get the 2 screws out. Got our starter motor here. All I've done is grease up the lip of it. Where the seal is. Locate that in there. Like so. Alright guys, so we're going to call that a wrap for the day. So today we've achieved a fair bit anyway. We've managed to put the seal back in the drive, we've got the guarding back in, we've got the clutch drive in, we've got the housings back in, we've got the starter motor cleaned up and painted up, we've got the flywheel, cam chain guide and the gear selector all back in the bike, ready to go. I say I'm only new to all this. If you've got any advice, chuck it in the comments below. I will be reading them. Don't forget, like, subscribe, set your notifications for further videos. Alright guys, next time.